feels great to be a magical girl. La 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 la. Magical girls, feminine strength and beauty. In other words, girl boss. Also, they're really gay all the time. Good for them.
Magical girl shows, or maho shoujo, have been around for a long time. They created role models for young girls, symbols of feminine strength, and a message that even if a little girl sees herself as ordinary or incapable, there could be something special lying within her. And then, in 2011, the world was introduced to Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Back in the day, people talked about Madoka as a very subversive show. And it is, but it is far from the only anime to do this. Long before it aired, there was the surprisingly dark Princess Tutu and the surreal apocalyptic world of Utena. And after it ended, well, there was a slew of post-Madoka grimdark shows like Magical Girl Raising Project and Magical Girl Sight. But nothing has ever stuck like Madoka did. You can easily add it to a list of 12-episode anime you will never recover from. It's so much more artful than just a show that imbues adorable little girls with immense horror and tragedy. Anyway, the show starts with an adorable little pink-haired anime girl wandering around an abstract monochrome purgatory. And then this absolutely bitchin' riff just tears through as she accidentally stumbles in on the end of the world. Oh good, it was all just a dream. Madoka's real life is that of the peppy middle schooler with a girl boss mom and a stay-at-home male wife dad. This is the world the feminists want. At school, Madoka has her obligatory sidekick friends, Green and Blue.
You tricked your mom into telling you the secret to being popular, didn't you? Well, I'm not gonna let that happen. You're just too cute. I'm not gonna let you be popular with the boys. You're mine, Madoka. Mine.
And there it is! I'm just kidding, the show gets way more sapphic than that. On this fateful day in homeroom, a new student is introduced to the class. Her name is Homura Akemi, and she's the girl from Madoka's dream. Already she seems familiar with the layout of the school and with Madoka.
Madoka Kaname, do you treasure the life you currently live? And do you consider your family and your friends precious?
Well, I do.
Good. Because if that's the truth, then don't try to change the life you have, or the kind of person you are. If you do, you'd lose everything you love. Don't change. Stay as you are, Madoka Kaname. Stay as you are, forever.
So after school, Madoka is hanging out with the blue one, Sayaka, when she hears a voice inside her head calling for help. Somehow, she and Sayaka are drawn to an alley where they see a little cat alien thing on the brink of death. It's being chased by none other than Homura, who is wielding a gun. Homura demands that Madoka step aside and let her finish the job, but it looks like the cat alien thing has more friends than enemies.
What's happening? I don't know.
That was close, wasn't it? But don't worry, you're safe now.
Thank goodness. You rescued Kyubei for me. I'm very grateful. He's a dear friend of mine, and I was so worried.
They don't yet know it, but they've wandered into a textbook case of magical girl gang warfare. I remember the first time I took a life.
So the little cat thing called Kyubei is able to turn young girls into magical girls. Oh my god, so cute. And he does this with a very special process.
Something magical and full of wonder. It's called a contract.
Kyubey grants girls wishes, just like with this nice young lady named Mami.
Thank you, Mommy.
In exchange, magical girls hunt witches, beings born of pure grief and anguish that wreak havoc on the world. The witches and their labyrinths are one of the coolest things about this anime. Their animation is just really otherworldly and unique. And of course, we see our first transformation animation for Mami. Kyubey really wants to make a contract with Madoka. Like, he wants her so bad. Even though she's just an ordinary girl. Mahou shoujo connoisseurs might recognize Kyubey as the animal sidekick trope. Magical girls tend to have little cat sidekicks, I would assume as a product of witch iconography. It's also not uncommon for magical girls to draw their powers from cats, or hone them under a cat's guidance. So Madoka and Sayaka need some more time to think about what they'll wish for. Meanwhile, they follow Mami around, watching her battle witches. You get to see through their eyes how this magical world opens up to them. That is until... Mami fucking dies. All it takes for Mami to lose her head is for this silly little monster to go, "Hey, look, cheese!" The first domino in the devastating Madoka Magica experience has fallen. Becoming a magical girl a la Sailor Moon is a gift which comes with the responsibility of fighting evil by moonlight. But by the time you're halfway through Madoka Magica, you'll come to see turning into a magical girl as a curse. In more ways than one. And you'll also learn why we all fucking hate Kyubey. So the girls are really shaken by what they witnessed, but not shaken enough to walk away and pretend they never learned about magical girls. The first one to fold and make a contract is Sayaka. She's in love with a boy, a former violinist who was in a car wreck and is now in the hospital, never to play again. She also feels guilt for letting Mami die when she could have helped. So she wishes for her crush to be healed and becomes a magical girl. She develops a rivalry with another magical girl named Kyoko, who's defensive of her territory. Kyoko essentially farms witches because they drop these things called grief seeds. Now, when a magical girl is born, she is given a soul gem. The more witches she fights, the more corrupted the soul gem becomes. And grief seeds cleanse that soul gem. Kyoko doesn't care about saving people. In fact, she'd prefer that more witches hatch so she can take their grief seeds. But she didn't used to be callous. She didn't used to be selfish. In fact, she made her wish for someone else. I'm not gonna explain it, go watch the anime, but basically this backfired horribly. Kyoko super resents Sayaka for making a selfless wish. You know, for someone who doesn't care about anyone else, Kyoko really seems to care about Sayaka getting hurt for her selflessness. Sayaka, why are you so focused on that boy? I'm right here. Sayaka and Kyoko are foils to each other. Kyoko is the selfish rogue to Sayaka's selfless knight. Sayaka's magical girl design is actually pretty knight-like. She has this white flowing cape over her armor, and she wields a sword.
Now you may think that's the extent of Madoka Magica's devastation. Little girls getting killed by cutesy monsters and having magical girl turf wars. But then this happens.
It won't be that easy! Sayaka, I'm sorry! Madoka, why'd you do that? But if I didn't, then you would've... Sayaka? Oh, Madoka, that was really bad. Huh? What's wrong with you? Are you out of your mind? How could you throw your friend away like that?
Plot twist number 1. When Kyubey creates magical girls, he takes their soul and puts it into the soul gem. Yeah, honestly, maybe they should have seen that coming. This is so that they don't feel all the pain in their body and can go on fighting these crazy battles. So Sayaka doesn't take this well.
I'm going to lose Kyosuke, he told me. And there's nothing I can do about it now. Because I'm already dead. I'm a zombie. I can't ask him to hold me if I'm like this. I can't ever ask him to kiss me.
Sayaka has fundamentally altered her fate for her love, and it still wasn't enough. 8th grade, by the way. One of the main traits of being a magical girl in this universe is crushing loneliness. Sayaka has to watch as Hitomi, one of her best friends, ends up with the boy she adored because of Sayaka's wish, on his behalf. Kyoko becomes obviously concerned for Sayaka at this point as she starts breaking down. Instead of using her power to be self-serving like Kyoko though, Sayaka becomes self-destructive. She refuses to hunt for grief seeds and completely disregards herself. She becomes the true embodiment of the nihilism that Kyoko preached. Sayaka is knightly, tainting her own soul gem trying to protect everyone, but her sacrifice stems from self-hatred. But also, this means that when a soul gem is tainted, a girl's soul is tainted. And what's up with the soul gem corruption anyway? What happens when a soul gem is too corrupted? Twist number 2, it turns into a grief seed. Witches are former magical girls. Kyubei, in fact, was aware of this the whole time. It's basically inevitable that a magical girl will eventually turn into a witch once she's fallen into despair. But once this is revealed, Kyubei isn't worried about scaring Madoka off at this point, because somehow he knows that she won't have a choice but to make a contract with him in the end. Even though the destiny of a magical girl is so grim. When Sayaka plunges into despair and it does not take long, we get to see what lives inside a sweet young girl. Witch Sayaka has a music motif, tragically alluding to the boy she loved. Kyoko sees this and finally acts selflessly. She sacrifices herself to end Sayaka's suffering. Kyoko dies to be with Sayaka because they are each other. Both have been punished for acts of love. Homura has a prophecy. On a certain day in the near future, a super powerful witch called Walpurgisnacht will appear in the city. And now that Sayaka and Kyoko are dead, there is no way that Homura will be able to take it out on her own. Kyubei leverages this to try and get Madoka to become a magical girl. Because Homura was right the whole time! Becoming a magical girl is a curse, and Kyubei has been lying to them. But why exactly? Okay, twist number 3. Kyubei is harvesting them. Kyubei is of the alien species, the incubators, which has been trying to prevent the collapse of the universe from entropy. And to do this, they need a lot of energy. And somehow, they figured out that young human girls can release massive amounts of energy when they fall into an abject despair state. The incubators generally don't experience emotions, and if they do, they're viewed as mentally ill in their society. So they have no problem in doing what they believe needs to be done. In essence, we must destroy girls to keep the world running.
Okay, here's the thing about Madoka Magica. I really don't know where the creators were actually trying to do a symbolism, because here we have a story about young emotional girls being taken advantage of by callous, emotionless beings. And I can think of a few real-world scenarios where that applies. But also, this is a series mostly created by men, and I don't know if even they were reading that deep into it. But it doesn't mean you can't make a really powerful symbol on accident.
I think the magical girl versus witch thing has a lot of subtext to it as well. The incubators are basically preying on the inevitability that a girl will be shattered by the world. She'll go from being a whimsical maiden to a depressed hag. Maybe it's that sense that she'll never be enough. Maybe it's the fear of what she's becoming. Maybe it's a conversation she hears on the bus.
女は人間扱いしちゃダメっすね。犬かなんかだと思ってしつけないとね。あいつもそれで喜んでるわけだし。
Sayaka's last straw that transforms her into a witch is actually these two dudes having a comically misogynistic conversation. And then, Sayaka becomes another cutesy manifestation of despair. Even as they experience the darkest depths of human emotion, these girls will not be taken seriously. Incubators have been interfering with humanity forever, creating magical girls who have made history. And yet, for some reason, ordinary little Madoka is the one that Kyubei truly wants.
そうやってあなたはますますマドカを苦しめるのにマドカは関係ないでしょいいえ何もかもあの子のためよ
Twist number 4. Homura is a time traveler who has seen Madoka become a magical girl in other timelines. In fact, in those other timelines, plural, they were the best of friends, and then Walpurgisnacht always happened. In her original timeline, Homura finally became a magical girl to save Madoka, to keep her from falling to Walpurgisnacht and becoming a witch.
ホムラちゃん過去に戻れるんだよねこんな終わり方にならないように歴史を変えられるって言ってたよね救命に騙される前のバカな私を助けてあげてくれないかな
Homura has reset her relationship with Madoka countless times to try and stop her from becoming a magical girl. All the while, Madoka's karmic weight has become heavier and heavier. This means her potential as a magical girl has become enormous from the depths of Homura's love. Madoka has no idea how cosmically important she is to the world because she's so important to Homura. And the romantic undertones of this are not lost on fans.
いい加減にしてよあなたを失えばそれを悲しむ人がいるってどうしてそれに気づかないのあなたを守ろうとしてた人はどうなるのホムラちゃん私たちはどこかで会ったことあるの私とそれは
Madoka wants to be something extraordinary, but she always was. And once the time comes for her to really be extraordinary, she curses her fate. Because Madoka always makes the contract. She has to in order to save Homura. Homura has to keep restarting the loop because as soon as she gives up, she becomes a witch, and the world is basically doomed. That's how she's so good at everything she does, and how she knows which witch is going to kill Mami, and why she's so frustrated with everyone. This timeline is no different. Walpurgisnacht has come, and Homura is facing off against an enemy she cannot beat. Madoka is the only one who can save her, and in the final episode of the show, she finally becomes a magical girl.
This is a religious event, and I'm going to tell you why.
With the power of her karmic destiny, Madoka wishes to have the power to erase all witches that ever were and never will be. The catch is that she'll be an unknown witch destroyer, completely removed from the timeline and the memories of those who love her. This allows magical girls all over the world to be free from becoming a witch and falling into despair. Madoka transformed for our sins. Her hope is cosmic, and so too will her eventual despair be. Her life has no beginning or end. Her existence was not real to anyone, and she is now a concept. She sees all timelines and universes, and she finally understands Homura's love. And Madoka said to Homura, "Though I be forgotten by all of my friends, lo, I will be with you always," because she's literally Jesus!
もしかしたら私のこと忘れずにいてくれるかも
Oh yeah, and also I'm sobbing! Madoka has a cosmic visit with each of her disciples, friends, walking off with Sayaka into the beyond.
覚えがあるようなないようなそっか私もどっかで達也と一緒に見たのかな たまにね、すっごく懐かしい響きだなって思うことがあるんだよね。まどか。
Kyubei in this timeline doesn't even know about the witches and the shattering of soul gems. And now, Homura fights wraiths instead, defending the world in Madoka's name.
What we've learned today is that the fate of the universe is in the hands of little girls. Not just the people living in it, but also its fundamental structure. In the hands of gay little magical girls.
In between all of the horrible things she suffers, Madoka has these intimate conversations with her mom. Talks about what's worth wishing for, Sayaka's death, and generally the sudden dread that seems to hang over Madoka. The last time they do this is right before Madoka has to save the world.
てめえ一人のための命じゃねえんだ。そういう勝手やらかして、あれがどれだけ
してる。私にもよくわかる。ママはさ、私がいい子に育ったって言ってくれたよね。嘘もつかない、悪いこともしないって。今でもそう信じてくれる。私を正しいと思ってくれる。
絶対に下手打ったりしないな。誰かの嘘に踊らされてねえな。
うん。ありがとう、ママ。
That trust that Madoka is capable and truly needs to act is like peak mother-daughter writing. This scene is indispensable to the show. And Madoka, in her god form, matures from a cutesy young girl into an elegant being of light. Look at how her dress changes. They know what we're here for. It's a form which Homura must keep only in memory, even as it defends the entire world. And then Rebellion happens, and you should absolutely watch Rebellion. It goes more in depth on how Homura is the final boss of thankless love.
Good night, everyone. I'm off to become an incomprehensible being of grief.